Talk to me for 2 minutes.
No, 0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't.
This make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
pictures? You want,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're gonna
I don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel? You're filming my.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave
you were
me
12 years
alone.
old.
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since...
I don't.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
This is April 27, 2023. This is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker Podcast. Today, Mr. Perry has pestered me and bothered me all damn day. Is it Ron DeSantis? Is it the military? Is it your family? Is it your kids? Who's leaking on me? Who told on you? There was something to tell? Thanks for the admission of guilt. I appreciate it. This is a direct result of you not getting what we just said. My guy said her privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You vulgar peep and Tom rapist, sex offender, allegedly, cop killer, allegedly. Do not invade her privacy again. Do not do it. You don't contact her. Not in any way, shape, or form, weirdo. You got some weird ways of contacting. Do not contact her again. Do not contact her again. Do not contact her again. Sir, don't bother her anymore. Don't bother her family. Don't contact them at all. Not directly, not indirectly. You leave them alone. It's the law. Follow the law. Respect the law. Get some dignity. Leave them alone. She's not to be broke anymore. Get your hands out of her wallet. Get your hands out of my wallet. That's what he said. Get your hands out of her wallet. Get your hands out of her wallet. If it isn't yours, you don't touch it. Get some dignity. Get some class. Get off your ass, you fat lazy turnoff, and go work. And go be with your family, and go be normal. Because if you don't, I will do it for you. He said that in March 2020, when you started threatening and bribing me then. I'm going to starve you until you lie, or you take the BioLife money and lie. What's your price? My price then, my price now. You give back what you took and what you owe me, and you get the fuck out of my life and never bother me again. And what my guy said in March 2020 and again in July 2022 is, if you don't, I'm going to kick your ass hard with whatever it is you do. And you didn't understand the words. They're not hard. And so what he did is he kicked your ass hard. It isn't legal, you said in a recording on August 19, 2019. August 23, 2019. It isn't legit, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. If you don't leave her the hell alone, the direct result of that will be, I am going to kick your ass hard. And this is just us getting started. We're flicking at you right now. We got that. Wasn't up to you. Take her to a shelter. Get her phones away from her, her computer away from her, and her driver's license away from her. And just blame it on some schmuck homeless person. Recorded. What he said is, you don't invade her privacy, you don't contact her or her family, you don't take her money again. You pathetic, lame bitch. Don't do it again. Or I will kick your ass. And then we got that. Pull her over, pull her over, pull her over. Last night. Get her to Jinx and Broken Arrow and have them pull her over. He kicked your ass, just like he said he would. Do not contact her. Do not violate her privacy. Do not contact her family. And get your hands out of her wallet. She's not to be broke anymore or have to ask for help. It's not going to happen. And if it does, I'm going to kick your ass hard. And so we got that. And then we got that. I need you to stop doing that to her so I can rule out provocation and entrapment. Because you told everybody in Lubbock jail in 2016, I'm going to send her home and harass the hell out of her. And then when she complains, I'm going to say, I'm going to lie and say she's harassing me. So, we got it documented in 2018. And so there's some going back to 2017 that Philip has. Ted was told immediately as soon as I walked out. Ted, here's what they said. Everybody said, get rid of your phone. Get rid of it. I did. You tried to text from it. When I was in Manford, Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we get more. I fucking don't care what you think. Everybody's sick of hearing what you think. It's about what everybody else thinks and how outraged they are at your inappropriate conduct. Your inappropriate conduct. You think if I get hungry enough, I'll call you? You are off your nut. You are off your nut. Stop bullshitting yourself. He said, do not invade her privacy again. Do not it's a felony, by the way, and it's sick. It's a sex crime. Do not contact her or her family, directly or indirectly, again, in any form at all. Poke and peep. And if you do, I'm going to kick your ass. And I'm going to kick it hard. So we got that. We got one in Tulsa that we need to get back to Texas against her will. So we can do more to hurt her. Which police department has that recording? Which police department told me, get her to Jinx and Broken Arrow, have them pull her over tonight? Which one? Name one of my guys quote one of their meetings. I'm quoting your meetings. You're just not all there, are you? Direct result of everything you do to me all day long. Every time I lose something, and that includes my privacy. Every day I'm broke. Every day Mike Neely's in jail. They get more, and we're getting this to get a conviction. Were it not for this being a bigger case, and you got other people involved, they're still investigating, you'd already be in jail, Charles. I'm never going to help you. Everybody's sick of you once you're gone. The direct result of you ignoring the law and raping me every day and causing all these problems, and everything's a thing, and everybody's all pissed off at you all the time, and everything's a drama, and you cause hardship, and you're very cruel. The direct result of that is we get this. Do you not understand what I'm saying? It seems like you really don't know. You don't know, do you? Starve her till she lies. Who has the recording of you saying that about a bazillion times? This right here. This right here, you're still trying to do it. False arrest her, intimidate her, make her lie. She doesn't get out of jail until she lies. I've got my paper here. My false affidavit. That's my words, not hers. She will sign it or she will rot. She will sign it or she won't have money. She'll starve. And my guy said, no, I'm sorry, you're in violation of the law and you just pissed off everybody. Your conduct is inappropriate. It's inappropriate. It's illegal. So what's going to happen is I'm going to kick your ass if you don't get out of her privacy, do not contact her or her family again, and she's not to be broke. You do not take her money. You don't take her money. You don't use her body for your entertainment, for your pretend world that's not real, your delusions. There's never been a date. There won't be. Stop bullshitting yourself. You look like a fool. And we found out, in fact, he said, watch this, Sin. I'm going to kick his ass because he's not listening to me and understanding what I just said. I said he doesn't contact you anymore. He doesn't invade your privacy again. He doesn't take your money anymore. And he didn't understand me. So guess what, Sin? I just kicked his ass. We just found out what he really has. It's Huntington's disease. He doesn't have Alzheimer's. He doesn't have senile dementia. He doesn't have aphasia. He doesn't have Tourette's syndrome. It's a disease called Huntington's disease. And it causes paranoia, delusion, hallucinations, psychosis, and impaired cognitive reasoning. That's why you're seeing him act the way he does. He's nutbag, diagnosed nutbag. So, we just kicked his ass. By the way, Sin, he didn't listen to me again today. He didn't understand me again today. I'm going to kick his ass. And guess what? I get a call. Guess what, Sin? They sold you to a guy in Houston. He's a realtor. He thinks he's bought you. Mr. Perry is desperate to make you go over there and be delivered. He wants that money. That's what this is about. It's about money. He's bullshitting himself and everybody else. It's about money. He wants the money. He took half of it up front. And he's waiting to deliver to get the other half. He wants that money. They're desperate. By the way, here's their code words. Papa John's means to deliver a victim to the buyer. Pin the tail on the donkey means they finally got you and they're taking you over there. By the way, when I said he is to not invade your privacy, he does not contact you anymore or your family. You're not to be broke anymore at all. The direct result of that is I'm going to kick his ass if he doesn't do it. If he doesn't do what I said, he's defying my authority. It's the law. I said respect the law. So guess what I found out? I told you I'm going to kick his ass. I just kicked his ass. He's asking your family to try to talk you into going along with this. Make her son available. So that's how I just kicked his ass again. We'll use all this in his criminal case, and he'll go jail. He'll go to jail. He won't bother you again. You and Mike will be safe. We've also heard rumblings that you're still spreading rumors that Mike and I had an affair, and that is baloney. Sometimes there are people. I get that when you're a sociopath, psychopath, selfish monster piece of shit, it's very difficult for you to understand how everybody else thinks. Sometimes people do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. It's not just about Mike Neely. It's about John Neely. I remember what my son went through when you did this to me. Only it's a lot worse for him. Whole lot worse for him. These are children. It's not just about Mike, it's about the kids. You blew their lives up, and you don't get to do that. They're kicking your ass. We found out your code words. Mr. Perry, do you have even one name or one quote of our meetings? You don't. You have outraged everybody with the horror and the terrorizing. So you get told on. The direct result of that is we can get stuff like this at the snap of a finger. Is it the military? Is it Ron DeSantis? You're still asking me who it is. I've never answered those questions, nor will I. But he's kicking your ass harder than anybody has kicked it in your life. So we know beforehand, not after, and you still act like you don't know what that means. And you don't, do you? You have Huntington's disease. You're not able to figure out what it means, what I'm saying. You have no idea what I've just fucking said, do you? It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing for everybody else. That your mind has so deteriorated that bad that you have no fucking idea what I just said. Cause and effect. A direct result of your unwanted contact is we get more. A direct result of you taking my money is we get more. A direct result of your invasion of my privacy is we get more. We got your code words. We heard you say, we're weeble wobbles. We wobble, but we never fall down. Look what we can do and get away with. But if we quoted you saying that, what is it you think you're getting away with? Nothing. Don't go to Jinx or Broken Arrow. Sandy's going to have you pulled over there. He's got Huntington's disease, not Tourette's, not Alzheimer's, not senile dementia. We got the name of the disease he was diagnosed with. Because he's kicking your ass harder than anybody ever has before. Because you can't understand what people say. Don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her or her family. She's not to be broke anymore at all. And if you do that, if you defy me, and you break the law, I'm gonna kick your ass, and we're gonna start talking about what you just said. When you tried to do another crime. Period. That's the way it's been. This is the first of it that you know of. But it's not the first. Make her go to Texas against her will. When I'm quoting yous, this is Judge Kirkendall. I am quoting a judge. Judge Parker, what have you told her? What have you told a grand jury? We know exactly what you told them. Because my guy said, your conduct is illegal, your conduct is inappropriate, and you are outraging everybody else. No one cares what you think. Everybody's sick of hearing what you think. You need a lie. What other victim has this stuff? Name one other victim that has this kind of inside information. Hansel and Gretel. That's what you did last night. Let's use the DoorDash app to get her to Jinx or to get her Broken Arrow and have those guys pull her over. And we got it before you did it. And you can see it on my Dasher app. That's exactly what you did. Hacking is a felony. Voyeurism is a felony. Stalking is a felony. Sex exploitation is a felony. Human trafficking comes with a life sentence. What if the victim knows that they were sold and who bought them before? Name one. What my guy said is, you don't invade her privacy ever again. It's sick, it's disgusting, and it's vulgar. It's obscene. Don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form ever again. Stop bullshitting yourself and everybody else. It's not working. The direct result of that is we quote a judge. My guy says if he doesn't stop taking your money and pestering you all day and your family and violating you vulgarly, I'm gonna kick his ass, and I'm gonna kick it hard. So we get a judge, and found out you took Judge Cummings duck hunting. Yep. Gotta rule out entrapment. I need you to leave her alone for a few weeks, because it looks like you're doing exactly what she says you talked about. That was all over Lubbock Jail, harassing the ever-living hell out of her. And all she's doing is reacting to what you're doing. You're upsetting her, everybody. It's outrageous. It's inappropriate. And so, Leave her alone so I can rule out you're trying to entrap her. It looks to me like you are. Having somebody constantly pulled over, that's going to cause some duress. Intentional duress. One guy said, I'm not going to do that to her. This is the woman who lost her butt trying to help a police officer, Michael Neely, yeah, and his son, and his wife, and every other victim you've ever hurt. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I have to go to the bathroom when she blows by here. I'm not going to do that to her. I'm not going to be that guy. But the only way he could know when I'm going to blow by there is doing exactly what we say. You hacked my phone. You cloned my phone. So you know exactly where I am. You use DoorDash. You have your people call in and order something. So I go down a certain street where that guy's sitting there waiting for me to pull me over to cause me duress. Intentional, malicious duress. So that guy wouldn't do it. Another guy said, he was told, they want her pulled over. He wants this letter of apology signed that he wrote. It's not her words, it's his. He wants her to lie. And he said, I'm not doing that. And the guy said, you may not have a choice. And he said, I'm a police officer. I absolutely have a choice. And I said, no. I am not going to put my reputation on a mentally ill man's bad decision. I will not do it. You know how we know that? Because when my guy said, you do not contact her again. You do not violate her privacy anymore. You do not take her money again. Stop bullshitting yourself and everybody else. It's not working anymore. Then I'm going to kick his ass. And so we found out that guy said that. And the one that went to the bathroom, Mr. Perry, no one cares what you think. No one understands why you think we care. Nobody asked you, did they? Everybody else and what they think is all that matters right now. Your conduct is inappropriate and illegal and disgusting, and it makes everybody uncomfortable. And so we can get this stuff where I'm quoting a judge and find out you went hunting with Judge Cummings and that you have Huntington's disease and that Mike was drugged. I said it months before anybody else said it. Because you're defying authority and you're pissing them off. And so they get that. This was lucky. I'm getting tired of them harassing me, wanting me to pull her over. So, yeah, it's getting pretty irritating. In fact, I'm thinking about getting her a protective order. This is motive for murder right here. Attempted murder of Mike in a frame-up, fraud upon a court, use suborned perjury. Use suborned perjury. 5 years minimum. You pissed everybody off. You made everybody wildly uncomfortable and outraged at your inappropriate, sick, fucked up conduct. So we got that. We got one in Tulsa. We need to get her to Texas so we can do more to her. We have one in Tulsa we have been trying to get out for well over a year. We need her back in Texas where we can do more to her. She's been sold to a Houston realtor like a commodity or piece of furniture. Violation of human rights is what got this open to begin with. Is that why you think it's the United States military? I'm not saying there's not military guys in it. Or former. But guess what? It's a need to know. That guy's kicking your ass. He kicked it right here again. Don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her. Get your hands out of her wallet. Don't contact her family. Stop bothering everybody. Stop bothering everybody else. It's what everybody else thinks. Everybody else is outraged. Everybody else is disturbed. Everybody else is sick at their stomach at what you're doing. You're creepy and you're cruel. So we got that. And Calvin's name, who's bald and fat. Blankenship and Desiree. Geppetto and Lucius. Andrew and Lawrence. Kate and Beverly. Betancourt. Muffin Man. Who's the Muffin Man? Who's Monique? Where's Monique right now? There is a woman who is French Canadian. Her name is Mary Beth. Sometimes she goes by Beth. She was dumped at a lake just outside Billings. Her head was split in two. You did that murder. Where is she now? Where is she now? I have never been to Billings, so I googled it, and sure as shit, there is a lake just outside Billings. Then Mr. Perry freaks out and starts explaining. She didn't like his sex weirdo problem. He drugged her. Then he took her to the car, her car, and ran into a couple. That couple, he explained to them, she's drunk, I'm taking her home. But that's not what he was doing. And that's not what happened. And he drove her to the lake and he beat her until her skull is in two. Took her clothes off and burned them at a nearby campsite to get rid of the trace. And then left. Left her there in the cold, dying. How many people have you done that to? How many other people know those kind of details? Beth, Mary Beth, French-Canadian woman. She's been in town visiting a friend, wasn't she? So, that's one of how many, Mr. Perry? He said, I'm going to kick your ass if you don't leave her alone. I'm going to kick your ass if you don't leave her alone. And then he did. He did last night. He's pissed. Everybody is. Who the hell is that cruel? Human rights violations got this open. Interference with commerce with intent to coerce. Interference with contracts with intent to coerce. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. It's just common for human traffickers. That's just what y'all do. Take all the personal documents. That's just what y'all do. It's no big deal to you. Everybody else is horrified by it. We can't imagine. It's about what everybody else thinks. It's about what everybody else feels. And as a direct result of you doing it to me, he kicks your ass, and he kicks it hard. Leaving you today to all day ask me if it's Ron DeSantis or the U.S. military, which is better than shapeshifters and Roswell aliens. At least we've gotten to back into the human realm. Embarrassing, golly. And she did it. I don't want to hear from you. I don't care what you think. Nobody asked you, did they? Nobody asked you, Mr. Perry. A couple days later, she did. Exactly what he said. And the funny thing is, though, we had it before. Look at this. Because my guys kicked your ass. As a direct result of you pestering me and taking my money, we got this on the 9th. And Calvin's name, who's bald and fat. As a direct result, we got it before, not after. It's that way every day, all day long. Do you like that? Mike Neely was drugged. That's dated March 2nd. That's May. These weren't taken until May. Sure as shit, he was given Narcan for drug overdose, not treated for being knocked out in a fight. He wasn't in a drunken brawl. So he wasn't treated for being knocked out in a drunken brawl. What he was treated for is somebody drugged him. Lucky and the killer were fighting over that. Were you the killer? What other victim has this kind of stuff before? See, before, Mr. Perry, do we need to get our finger paints out for you? Do you need to call your nurse or your special ed teacher to help you understand what I'm saying? This is before. This is after. Cause and effect, a direct result of you contacting me, raping me, taking my money, thinking that'll make me lie for you. It really does. All it's ever done, because you've done this to me for years. It just pisses off people with a hell of a lot of power. Who have a very big sword. And they give me that. Guess what, Sin? He drugged Mike Neely. Mike Neely did not do that. Mike Neely was a victim of attempted murder. In the ABA rules, a prosecutor once notified of an impropriety and information that would lead somebody to be proven innocent, they're to let that guy go home. So how much hell have you caught that you don't even know of yet for what you did to Mike? I've met Mike twice. Let's go over it again. Maybe the night you tried to text from my phone, Mike pulled me over, and I'm with Dennis. We made a right-hand turn from the left lane because we're driving through town looking for snacks, and unfortunately found that everything in Manford closes at sundown. We're used to Vegas. Everything's always open, so we're still getting accustomed to, the second the fucking sun goes down, everybody goes home and closes up. We're not used to that. So we're looking for something that's open, and at the last minute says, Dennis points at Jiffy Trip, and he goes, look, we'd all gone all the way through town. We're going back towards Sand Springs, and there's a store open. Let's go in there. So I'd already almost passed the intersection, and I just whipped it real quick. There's only one car sitting there. It's not a big deal. Well, that one car was a cop, and their cars were really old, so you couldn't hardly tell it was a cop. So he pulled me over, asked me what happened. I told him, and I said, here, by the way, when you run my license, here's what's going to show up. And I showed him my bond conditions, and he said to me, don't give anybody your real address. Ask a friend if you can use theirs or something. Don't give anybody your real address. I'm telling you, don't do it. I got another call. I got to go. And he left. He's talking to my son and I. Then, if that was even him, I'm not even sure that was him. It was some cop from Manford. Then, he and Lucky came to my club. I walked up, introduced myself to Mike, introduced myself to Lucky. Mike got up and went to the bathroom. I sat down and talked to Lucky. And I'm wondering, I live a minute from the police department. Why is he all the way out here? An hour something away. So he's asking me about a forged marriage license. Interesting. Why he had to drive up. I had to go up on stage. While I'm on stage, Mike comes back and they leave. I didn't even interact with Mike. I interacted with Lucky. That interaction was extremely professional. They acted like they were there on business. There was no lap dances bought that I saw. Not from me. There was nothing but very professional, almost rude professional. Very nearly rude in that conversation. That's how professional they were. I called them the 6 days before the murder and reported vandalism. And I said, I don't know who did this. Nobody saw anything, but the chances are high it's these guys stalking me. They're whack job. I don't know anybody else this weird. I don't. So it's probably them, but that doesn't mean it is them. So we went over the whole case, and that was it. There was looky-loos in the parking lot. Laura was walking around doing stuff. The owner was walking around doing stuff. Brett Gibson was there, and that's it. And you guys had people taking pictures of me all the time. There would have been a picture out if there's something like that. Stop lying. It's not just about Mike Neely. It's about Mike Neely, but it's also about Lisa, and it's also about John, who's a kid. It's about the kids. It's about other people, not just Mike, there's a lot of people hurt by what you've done, and you don't give a shit. This is just what y'all do. You don't think twice about it. Who you hurt or how bad you hurt them. You'll blow up people's lives, and you don't think... Your only question is who told on me. No empathy at all. Complete sociopath. Not 1 ounce of empathy. Grandiose thinking serial killer. So, you're God, and everybody's just supposed to worship you. But for everybody else, that's not it at all. For everybody else, you're the bad thing that happened. You're the reason people don't have kids anymore. You're the reason it's not safe to go outside alone. You're the reason that, you're the reason that we have jails and a court system. Because monsters like you like to hurt other people. And you think we're all supposed to just go, oh yeah, sure, I'll cover it up for you. And I said, not this time. And you have starved me. I've gone 6 months at a time where I'm sleeping in my car. I'm taking a bath twice a week. I'm eating twice a week. And my guy said, you got to change that. You got to eat. I need you to testify. You can't be dead. So eat. I have low blood sugar, and you know that. He's going to charge you with assault for every day I don't have food. Food and shelter. Okay? It's, for you, assault. We know your intent. Because here's what he said. We have Charles recorded talking about trying to kill you more than once. We have Charles recorded saying, I'm going to starve her and make it so bad she has no choice but to lie for me and do what I tell her. So, for that reason, because he expressed that intent, I can make this work as at least assault, if not attempted murder. Every day you don't have food and shelter. Period. I'm going to make it work. So, because of what he expressed, and they got it. Because my guy said, do not invade her privacy. Do not contact her family anymore. Charles, he said, you, Peepin' Tom, don't invade her privacy anymore. Do not contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form again, directly or indirectly. Get your hands out of her wallet. Respect the law. Or I'll do it for you. I'm going to kick your ass. And so he heard you talking to a hitman about murdering me. More than once. He heard you talking about starving me until I lie. That's him kicking your ass. We got some of this as a direct result of the horror and outrage you caused everybody else. Because nobody thinks like you. But your little creepy club group. Your organized crime bullshit. Stop bullshitting yourself. Look at the results of your actions are right here. This is a recording. Point out for me the marks on Mike Neely that looked like he was in a fight. Point them out. Here's the arrest report. Read it. Point out for me the injuries listed in there that looks like he was hit in a drunken brawl. Point him out. There aren't any. It says a red swollen right hand. Well, he's got an IV in it. We said not this time. This is evidence of premeditation right here. I don't care what you have somebody say or put on Facebook. Leave me alone. What does that say? Leave me the fuck alone. 2014, I hadn't left Texas yet. What I want for you to make him do, Michael Quinn Sullivan, holier than thou, Michael Quinn Sullivan, church boy, you make that bitch leave me the fuck alone. You make your bitch leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't contact me again. Don't bother me anymore. Stop bullshitting yourself and everybody else. Get out of my privacy. Get away from my family. Get away from me. Shut up. Nobody cares what you think. Stop acting like you think we care. Didn't ask you. Shut up and get away from me. Shut the fuck up and get away from me. I don't want to help you. I don't want to hear from you. Everybody wants you to shut up and get away. Go away. Nobody invited you here. There's no fucking way I would have taken you around my family. I did not introduce you to them at all. I would never do that. Now shut up and get the fuck out of my life. And every day that you don't, and I'm not to be broke again, he said, get your hands out of her wallet. Get them out. If it's not yours, don't touch it. Get some class and get some dignity. Learn how to act right. So, every day that you don't, Mr. Perry, what happens is he says, okay, fine, I'm going to kick your ass. We're going to get all this and we're going to use it in court to convict you. And then we got that. Name one other victim that has this. You know, you wanted to brag to me and Randy in 2000, whenever it was, 12, I guess. We're on the phone doing some Oppo research on Kel Seliger for Randy's race. And you're like, oh, yeah, I was just in Montana. So 2012, the conversation was in like September. So sometime prior to that is when you killed Mary Beth and beat her over the head with a rock and split her skull in two. Then took her clothes off and burned them in a nearby campsite so that you get rid of trace and left her in the cold to die. Where's she now? Who's Monique? Where's Monique right now? Look at that. This is our guy kicking your ass. If he doesn't do what I tell him and comply with the law, respect women, I'm gonna kick his fucking ass like harder than it's ever been kicked in his life. Here you go, right here. This is it right here. Ratatouille. Rumpelstiltskin. Did the victim let down her hair? Did she agree to be coerced? Rapunzel let down her hair. And for me, everybody's gone like, I think she's choking him with it is all that's happening. She's not letting her hair down. I think she's just flat choking him with it. It's different when you do it to me. It's different when you do it to me. Why is that? Why is it different when you do it to me? When you contact me or my family in any way, shape, or form, when you take my money, when you invade my privacy, the direct result of that is we get this kind of stuff right here nobody else has. Certainly none of your victims. Right? None of your victims have this, do they? Do they? Every single one of these is a subject line in an email that I typed up after I heard a police recording. It's the title of the recording. Pages of it. Thousands of them. If you were the only guy in this, you'd be in jail a long time ago. If there weren't other people they're trying to get to as well. Through you. They're trying to get to other people through you. How does that make you feel? Huh? How does that make you feel, Perry? I'm going to kick his ass if he doesn't listen to me. And he continues to defy authority. I'm going to kick his ass hard. And so we got all this. Last night, Sin, guess what? Listen to this. They got jinxed and broken down ready to pull you over. Or they were talking about it. Get her to a shelter. You can get a homeless person to take her shit and blame them. Right? We can kidnap her. Get her family to talk her into it. Right? How many other victims have this, Mr. Perry? How many other victims have one of these? You don't have a Fabian puzzle, I do. Right? They got that to me in jail. It wasn't up to you, was it? Lucius, Calvin, Geppetto, Blankenship Desiree, Lawrence Andrew, Betancourt, Monique, Jeremy, Brian, James, Reuben, Richard, Dickey. Any other victim have names like that? He said, stop it. I'm going to kick your ass if you don't stop it. And in part, that's what he's doing. Every time we quote you, get out of her privacy. Get out of it. Get some class, man. Get some dignity, dude. Go get busy with your family. And quit all this. It's ridiculous. It's not even benefiting you. It's not even benefiting you. Who is Lucius to you? How'd you meet this guy? What about Beverly? How'd you meet her? What about Calvin, who's bald and fat and everybody hates him? Yeah, we hear a lot about that, how cruel he is. Him and Lucius both are very cruel, very hateful, and hated. A reporter tells us they're about to be the most hated men in America. You know how I know? I hate them. I can't even believe, this is awful what they're doing to her. How do these men sleep at night? Well, they're sociopath. They don't give a fuck. They really don't. They don't give any fucks at all about anybody but themselves. This is the text. You tried to send from my phone. I disconnected when I got home. I had a new phone. I didn't need this one. This was in the back bedroom charging. Everybody was gone from the house. Nobody was home. I'm being pulled over by Manfred police. Maybe Mike. And how dare you try to... was there an affair? You know, most people's brain doesn't skank down as low as yours does. It just doesn't happen. They're normal people that just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I know what's going to happen at the end of this. You guys go to jail, and everybody's finally free. Everybody's free. Not just me, not just Mike, not just Lisa and John and Dennis and Tristan and their families. All the other victims are free. We're all free. So it's about a whole lot more than just Mike. It's funny that you thought that's what this was about. It shows how stupid you are and how small and wicked your brain is. Poor Lisa. I wasn't around him enough to have an affair. That's just not my thing. That's not my thing at all. I was around him 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes when he took my police report 6 days before his life blew up. And literally a second. Hi, I'm Mike. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. And then he went to the bathroom. And that was it. And you guys took so many pictures of me, you still do. If there was an affair, you'd had pictures of it. I mean, come on with this. Are they having an affair? Is that why she's defending him? I'm defending him because it's the right thing to do. I'm defending him not just about him, but for his son, his boy, and my boy. I watched what my boy went through when you terrorized us with the false arrest. Who does that to a kid? I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. People get very outraged over abuse of children. Very outraged. We don't have any problems getting information, Mr. Perry. Snap of a finger. My guy said, you don't defy my authority. You don't rape her anymore. You don't invade her privacy anymore. She doesn't like you. Move on. Get a grip on reality and move the fuck on. Stop bullshitting yourself. You look ridiculous. High school kids get rejected all the time. You know how high school is. You change your boyfriend about it as much as you change your underwear. I mean, high school's just like that. Everybody's flitty. You don't know what you want. So you got to hop around from different person to different person. And guess what? When you get rejected, you just move on. High school kids can do it. Why can't you? You're an old ass man. You're married too. Where's Jacqueline when you bother other people? Where is Jacqueline, your wife, when you rape me? Huh? And go around showing a marriage license you signed. You're in that thing all by yourself. So my guy's like, I'm going to kick his ass. Guess what, Sen? He's got Huntington's disease. We finally found out what's wrong with him. It's not Alzheimer's. It's not senile dementia. It's not dysphagia. It's Huntington's disease. And it's not Tourette's. He's telling people it's Tourette's. It's not. He's got Huntington's disease. They don't want anybody to know. Guess what? I just found out because he pissed everybody off being mean to you. So there's that. Guess what, Sen? He's going to have you pulled over in Jinx and Broken Arrow tonight. So don't go to Jinx or Broken Arrow. So we find out before, because my guy said, if you defy my authority and the law, I'm going to kick your ass harder than it's been kicked ever before in your life. And so we quote you. And that's a direct result of you being horrible and terrorizing everybody. And making everybody uncomfortable like they want to barf. So, it's been that way for 10 years, Mr. Perry. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. With somebody that takes 10 years to figure out what you're doing is inappropriate and making everybody mad. This was 10 years ago. It goes into great detail as to what you wanted to do to me to coerce me. And it tried to intimidate me. It didn't intimidate me then. It doesn't intimidate me now. It pisses everybody off, and then we get more. That's the direct result of what you do all day long. It's not even benefiting you. I'm not going to lie for you. I have starved. I won't lie for you. You took my house. You took my car. You took everything I own. I won't lie for you. I told you so. I did say. I did tell everybody that's what he was threatening me with. That was the threat of the day. So there's that. You think people are dumb, and they're not. They're not dumb, Mr. Perry. Not even a little bit. Everybody knows. Everybody gets it but you. Stop bullshitting yourself. You embarrass yourself, and you don't even know that. You're not God. You're a pathetic nobody. So what he said is, leave her the fuck alone. Put your big boy pants on, grow a pair, man up, and move on. You have power. Go find a date with a woman that likes you. I don't think you have power. I really don't. Nobody that sits around all day perverting and doing things that a 5-month-old baby can do has power. That isn't power. That is very, very pathetic. And you don't have an alibi to prove you're doing anything all day long but what I say. You need one, and you don't have one. I don't care what other courts give you a pass on accountability. This court is a criminal case against you. So you're going to need an alibi for that, and you won't have one because you're doing exactly what we say. You're not doing anything but that. Going up to Oklahoma, pestering Cynthia, and making problems and drama. And you didn't come up here and be a ray of sunshine that we all made our lives fun and good. You came up here and terrorized and horrified and terrorized and horrified, and everybody hates you. And so my guys are kicking your ass, aren't they? If they're quoting what you just said, I would say that's what they're doing. And whatever it is you think you're getting away with when we quote you every damn day, you're off your nut. That is as delusional as it gets. You're not getting away with shit. If we're quoting you, you have no grip on reality. None. I don't know what's wrong with the guys that work for you. I really don't. Lucius, Calvin, those guys. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. What disease do they have? Here's the false arrest. Filing a false police report in retaliation for doing his job as a public servant. On the 29th. The false police report wasn't false. It wasn't even investigated. It was only filed on the 21st, just a few days before. I didn't get a call back from Tulsa police you have to properly collect evidence. Anybody these days, you have to remember that everybody these days watches fucking CSI Las Vegas and Forensic Files and Discovery Channel and First 48 and Murder 360 and all those crime shows. It'd be very difficult these days for someone to make the argument to get their case tossed out or overturned or whatever because they weren't read Miranda. I wasn't properly Mirandized. Almost these days, you cannot make that argument because part of the rulings that the Supreme Court came up with was you have to be told of your rights to an attorney and to shut up. Well, these days, we hear it on, Rizzoli and Isles, the closer. You have the right to shut up. Anything you say and do can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, we're going to find the dumbest one we've got just for you. So you've been Mirandized as far as I'm concerned. Sign your waiver and go talk to Ridley, and I'll be there, and you can explain the horrible things you've done. But I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to fucking lie for you. I've starved. I've lost everything I have. And you think that's going to make me call you and lie for you? You're off your nut. It hasn't so far. Why would it now? Why would it now? You're giving me another I told you so. I did say. So, Tulsa police didn't call back until the 15th of January. In order to determine whether a police report is false or true, you have to have probable cause to believe that. Well, gosh, how can you do that if nobody collected the evidence? This is Tulsa Police. Detective Egan with Tulsa Police. Cynthia, I'm looking at the report you made on harassment and stalking, and I need to speak with you concerning the report, and I need to get some more details, and probably need to take a look at your phone for the text messages. I need to get the evidence. I needed a blood draw as well to test me for arsenic. When I met with her, that was my plan. I don't want Charles to see what I'm asking her to do. I don't want him to know, and he's hacked my phone. So I'm going to have to wait to talk about that until I get face-to-face with the detective. I'm waiting for a callback for her, and I get hauled into jail by physical force prevented and delayed, crossing state lines from reporting the crime committed against me. If you're wanting to pursue this, you can reach me at 918-596-2824 and just give me a call, and we'll set up a date and a time to talk with you. Again, my number is 918-596-2824. 15th. Obstruction of justice, blatant. And perjury. Because you knew it wasn't false. In fact, by law in Oklahoma, you knew you have to file one to get a protective order. She said it's a stalking complaint, did she not? When you got a stalker, what's this say? The last sentence, you must file a complaint against the stalker with law enforcement. You knew that because this got denied because I forgot the report. The second reason for the denial. You didn't bring your police report. I can't give you your protective order. You have to have it. It's the law right here. You knew that because this was in May 2015. This was in January 2016. You retaliated me for reporting a crime. Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513. So my guy said, you don't invade her privacy anymore. You don't contact her or her family ever again. Not directly, not indirectly, not in any form at all. And she's not to be broke anymore. And if he defies the law and me, I'm going to kick his ass. So we find out you're arguing over whether or not Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513 applies here. It does. But we heard you arguing about it. See if her family can talk her into being coerced. So, Sin, I just kicked his ass. We got that. This is, there's the dismissal right there. These are Facebook messages from 2011. Years before I could have anticipated you would go into court and commit perjury. Years before. Where I'm talking about your stalking. He pulled up behind my house, and he's watching me in my backyard. I might have to move. I may have to. Brandon wants us to move to Vegas. I may do it. Right here. Has nothing to do with your politics at all. Your job as a senator. Our shrink said Mr. Perry is unable to identify his legislative duties or even what state he legislates in. He didn't legislate in Oklahoma. You were long gone from Texas. He's not able to. He can't identify cause and effect. Same and different before and after. We get the information before, not after. And it's a direct result of him pestering you, taking your money, and invading your privacy. Direct result, cause and effect. It's different when you do it to me than your other victims, but it's the same every day. Every day that you do it. We found out what you did all week long. Charles wants to go ahead and just throw her ass in jail and make her sign this letter of apology that he wrote and have her family talk her into being coerced back to Texas. Can her son be made available to talk her into going back to Texas? Because my guy said, you fuck with her, I'm going to kick your ass. Sin, I just kicked his ass. Guess what we just got? They just said this. They just said that. They want your son to make himself available to coerce you to Texas, where you'll die within a week. And we know that. So, there's that. You guys wouldn't let me in court. I sued you 3 times. 3 times you get it tossed out. And I'm never there. What's the harm, the guy said. I'm quoting. When I speak third person, it's quoting somebody else. What's the harm, he said, in letting Cynthia in court to show evidence she does not have? They had all these ex parte hearings, got everything dismissed. She's not even there. The burden of proof is on her. How can you can't do that? It's not legit. 5 attorneys can't handle one woman in court that doesn't have a law degree or even a day at law school. 5 attorneys, seasoned, old. These are old farts. These guys are not just fresh out of law school. They're old farts. They've been at this a while. And 5 of them can't handle one girl, one woman. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. Blatant dishonesty. Blatant perjury. Blatant obstruction of justice. Right? What does this say? This is dated the 4th of January. I was arrested on the 29th. I didn't file a report until the 21st. He mistakenly thought a denial of the PO on jurisdiction equaled vindication. That's why he's trying to harass me back into court for another PO attempt, and he finally had gotten to that. But what he ended up doing is having me arrested, maybe because of this text right here. Likewise, me being dead or arrested on faked up charges, is like he's trying to do for 2 years now, is also not going to equal vindication for him. It's going to prove me out. It's going to prove I get another I told you so. I did say before, not after. It's not an afterthought to explain away something. I'm getting it before. So our shrink thinks that when Mr. Perry's told, stop. Cut it the fuck out. Control yourself, really. I mean, this is just off the rails, delusional weirdo. Off the rails. If you think everybody else is as stupid as you are, you're really off the rails delusional. You have to stop. You're all caught. You're not getting away with anything if we quote you every day. You can't quote one of our meetings, not name one guy. Not one guy that helps me. Not one. You're asking this morning, is it Ron DeSantis? Is it the U.S. military? Is it your family? Is it your kids? Not one. So for you to think you have a choice when you're told stop it, speaks to how delusional you are. And our shrink said, for him to be this delusional, he needs to be put in the hospital. And if he can't control himself, sedated. Sedated. I mean, this is outrageous. This is absolutely outrageous. If we weren't using him to get to the other guys, he'd be in jail a long time ago. As long as you can handle it. We could use all the evidence we can get. So we'll just keep kicking his ass till he gets it. Gets the message. Puts it together in his head. When you contact her, they get more. When you take her money, they get more. Is that what you want? When you invade her privacy, they get more. Is that what you want? The more we get, the easier it'll be to get a conviction. Don't you think? It's about to bury you in what you've done. So there's nothing here about politics. Nothing at all. It's all about stalking. I don't know what this is about. Oh, this is about an abortion bill. This was years later, 2013. My comments to her were about they're spending extra money on extending session to pass an abortion bill that's not worded properly. It won't pass equal protection. It'll be kicked out. And it did. It was. Charles Perry's name, I don't believe, is in here anywhere. It wasn't even his decision. It was Rick Perry's decision. And it was one that I vehemently disagreed with. Don't waste taxpayers' money on a bill that you know isn't going to pass the Supreme Court. And they did. It's all worded wrong. And they did it anyway. Okay, well, I've never accused Rick Perry of stalking because he's not. I do have the right to redress. I have a right to express my political opinions. But this is not that, is it? And you knew that. In retaliation for his job. So my shrink is like, he can't even identify what his legislative duties are. He didn't even know. He's got a mental disease. He doesn't know. It's not stalking women. It's not exploiting women. It's not trying to make people lie and intimidate and bully. It's not taking women's money. It's not trying to beat down a woman so you feel tough guy. You got mommy issues or something. Is it? That's not what guys do to pass a law in Texas, is it? So there's nothing political here. This is all about stalking. This was my friend saw stuff I didn't even see. She called me. Perry shows up here looking for you. Well, this day, the one day he did that, I forgot my phone at home and went and ran errands. So he didn't know where I was, but normally I would have been at Carino's because this was a weekly thing we did every Wednesday night. She and I went to Carino's and met with our church friends. I didn't go to her church. I just went to this thing with her. And he always had his aide there, his little staffer girl, Catherine. They had the whole restaurant to sit in. She always sat right next to us. And people are like, did somebody invite that girl? Who is that girl? Oh my God, no. Nobody invited her. Nobody even told her about this. I don't know. And then it got weird. And so I told Cheryl, I go, Charles is hacking my phone. Now if you watch this video right here, the use of technology to stalk, that's exactly what they say. This is going to sound weird, but I think he's hacked my phone. Because he keeps showing up where I am. Or there's a policeman ready to pull me over where I am. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. I didn't say where I was going. How did they know that I was going to be there at that moment? How did you know I was going to be at Carino's? Right when I forgot my phone at home. Because nobody called Charles. Nobody called Catherine and said, we're going to be at Carino's on Wednesday night. Why don't you come? Nobody invited them. So he knew that on Wednesdays I was going to Carino's. But one night I left my phone at home. So he's freaking out, wondering where I am. He goes to Carino's looking for me. Cheryl calls me. She's like, you're not going to believe this. Weirdo shows up looking for you. He wasn't eating. He walked in. He looked back at my table, shot me a dirty look and left. Catherine always sits by us. We don't know, can't sit somewhere else in the restaurant, Catherine. You got to sit right next to us every week. Mr. Perry, your contact is not wanted. He's going to kick your ass. He just told you to stop. Through me, I'm telling you what he said. Stop contacting me in all forms. He's kicking your ass every time you do. We just found out again last night. What's the deal with your grand jury? Huh? When you contact me, we find out more because you're making people mad. It's about what everybody else thinks, not what you think. Not anymore. So, I forget my phone at home. Well, if I leave my phone at home, shouldn't he think I'm at home? Unless you got Peep and Tom cameras in the house and you see that I left. Yeah. Creepy Chucky, we call him. Creepy fucking Chucky. So we put together this whole website documenting everything that my guys get when they're in the process of kicking Mr. Perry's ass. And Mr. Perry is unfortunately mentally ill and mentally retarded and doesn't know. He doesn't know that's what's happening. You can flat tell him, he will not understand a word you say. This is erotomania. Delusional erotomania is a disease that a lot of stalkers have, where they pretend and imagine there's a romance there and there's just not one there. The other person doesn't feel it too. It's typically somebody of higher social status. My granddad was the chief of police in Roswell and a city councilman and a county commissioner. I did a lot of lobbying, federal. I did not do state. This was a magazine they were written in, talking about Miranda, actually. Miranda had just passed. That's my great-granddad, captain of detectives, Roswell Police. Chief Hall, chief of police. And I did a lot of lobbying before I met Mr. Perry. I helped him get elected. See, that's me with Harry Reid. That's me with John Ensign. That's me with Rick Perry. That's me with Rick Perry again. That's me with Congressman Nugbauer. Charles had not popped out yet, I think, or maybe he may have here just popped out. I don't think he had been elected yet. So he definitely at this point, that's my son's dad and Little John, they're friends. That's Little John, and Brandon took Little John's son interest in bowling one day. So, I mean, we met a lot of famous people in Vegas, and we don't talk about it because it's not a big deal to us. But the thing is, Mr. Perry, is that you got enamored because you're just a small town, little boring accountant, right? With a boring life. So he created some imaginary relationship with me that doesn't exist to me at all. He's just a creepster to me. So there's a disease called the delusional erotomania that causes that. He committed perjury like a motherfucker. So that goes through all this. There's at least 4 contacts within the farm state of Oklahoma that were nefarious and stalking. He just used proxy. So we've got all that on here. Documented very well. We've got this murder. I went through the whole thing and I explained why Mike couldn't have done it. This is my shrink. They wanted to find a shrink to say I'm crazy. I'm not stalking her, she's just crazy. Well, that's not what she ended up saying, because the facts, you show people, but before, I said it before, he's threatening me with this false arrest, and here's what the law says, and here's what he said in court, just like I just did. So, what does she say? I think she just wants to be left alone, Mr. Perry. He's causing harm and butting into her life and interfering. She don't like that. No one would. And what she say? What you want to do is ignore, but sometimes they'll escalate more than you can ignore, and that's what you've got with Charles. A false arrest, taking your home, your car, everything you own, that'll do it. That'll escalate more than you can ignore. Can't get attention any other way. Got to cause a problem and a drama. So this guy solicited prostitution. Yeah. How about $5,000 to be creeped out by him? This is not part of your legislative duties. Mr. Perry cannot identify his legislative duties or what state he legislates in. He's a delusional fruitcake. This guy walked in saying, your husband sent me, and I'm like, I'm not married. Mr. Perry signed a forged marriage license. Signed my name to it. I didn't sign it. Why would I do that? That's what Chief Miller asked me about. Did you sign this? And I was like, fuck no, why would I do that? Where's the solicitation? It's right here. Okay, 2 hours you can be creeped out, so you can make $5,000. He'll be nice. Just pay. See right here. Now listen. Get richer. He'll be really nice. He'll pay you $5,000 for one night. It has me twice, 2 or 3 times in here if I was wearing a wire. You can listen to it. You can read the transcripts, and you can listen to the actual conversation right here. In the farm state of Oklahoma, that is a contact. It's purposeful. Isn't it? Freaked me out. I know. I didn't tell anybody I was going to work that night. How'd the guy know I was going to be there that night? I don't know. So there's that. These are some of the audio. This is my deposition with Michael Neely. Right there. Not Michael Neely, his attorneys. Florida State's attorney. They asked me if I'm a cop. What a dumb question. How did you know he was drugged before anybody else said it? You didn't hear that here. You should have, but you didn't. Because they weren't asking me about questions really as much as they should have relevant to Mike's case. They were asking me questions relevant to Mr. Perry's lie that he's being harassed. Gene Mitchell says, I got about 20 emails from you, and I'm like, I sent you 5. The 5th one said, I've got a lot more evidence to get to you, and I don't want to overwhelm your email inbox, so I'm going to put them in a Dropbox for you. He never even looked in the Dropbox. So there's that. Guess who did? Media. 12 reporters are helping us. 3 are not in this country. These are the texts Detective Egan needed to look out before you could think that there was probable cause to make an arrest, that there was any kind of crime at all. So that would lead you to believe I'm telling her I'm getting sick. I'm telling people I'm getting sick. I don't think I told her yet. I bought charcoal on the 15th of December because it'll absorb Poison. That's what they used to give people before there was Narcan. They gave you charcoal. So, who overdosed on drugs. I'm getting sick, and I'm asking David, did you give me arsenic in my drinks at work? He says yes. He admitted to it right here. Now, everybody, I guess he tried to lie about it, and somebody told him, listen, I don't believe you. I think that you did mean, like, it was an accident that I said yes. No, I don't think so, because we got this. Let your life fade away. Like, who the fuck says stuff like that? Looks to me like you're trying to kill her. You're trying to intimidate her. I want this to be over without death and destruction and deception. He completely skips deception. I'm not going to promise it won't end with death and without death and destruction. Mr. Perry, no one cares what you think. What is wrong with you? It's about what everybody else thinks. Nobody asked you what you think. You were told, you don't contact her anymore. Shut up. We're all sick of hearing about what you think. It's about what everybody else thinks. Everybody else is horrified and outraged at what you're putting me and Mike through and everybody else. Horrified. You're very sick. You're very twisted. Your mind is fucked up. And it's time for you to get that off me. Put your big boy panties on and go live your life with your wife. You need the alibi. You need to be seen in Lubbock with your family and not up here bothering me. What is your schedule? Why are you even up here? What is it even benefiting you? To sit around on your fat lazy ass and pervert around all day. And make everybody pissed off. Do you get a sick thrill just pissing people off? We think you do. Or you'd stop. Because the direct result of your contact and your problem causing and you taking my money isn't a lie. It's been 10 years of you getting told on and told on and told on and told on and told on. So it's not even benefiting you. And if we're quoting you, you're not getting away with anything, dumbass. You're just not all there. Things don't click for you anymore, do they? Can you still count? How many times was your crime caught before you did it to me? How many after? How many of the victims have that? Because you got a lot of victims. Even you asked about them. You've asked about the other victims. How many victims of the senator? You wanted to know which ones were squealing on you, didn't you? Didn't you, Mr. Perry? He sent me a text. It was weirdo. I know you got subpoenaed, but I'm going to try to talk to you anyway outside of court. I know you're a subpoenaed witness. Here's the subpoena. I guess we'll finally hear what you have to say. I asked you before, how did you know Mike had to be begged to go? And then all of a sudden they have somebody post on Facebook, Chief Miller begged Mike to go. I'm sorry, but that's not the case. It was which one of you begged Mike to go. Otherwise, why would you ask me that question 3 times? Who else is the senator's victims? Who else is talking? Who else has the information I have? How many times were you caught before you did it to me? How many after? Can you still count? Aren't you going to count it? You need to start counting. We are. So there's that. I get it before, not after, Mr. Perry. Not a mark on him. Red swollen right hand. Beat him so hard, back and forth, that his head became detached from the rest of his body. He died of internal decapitation. And yeah, it doesn't look like he was in a drunken brawl to me. These are they had people taking pictures of me. If there was an affair with Mike Neely, there would be a picture of it. Him coming in and out of my room. There was no affair. Some people do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And it's not just about Mike. It's about Mike, Lisa, and the boy. The kid. Their child, John. My child, Dennis, Tristan, my granddaughter. It's about Sadie. It's about all of us getting free. We don't have to deal with you anymore ever again. Okay? Everybody else feels outraged, sick at their stomach, creeped out, and disturbed, and horrified by you. So that's what matters. That's why I can get information and I can name your people and you can't do any such thing. And you starve me doesn't make me lie. You starve me. It pisses off people with a lot of power. And the guy that said you're not to invade her privacy anymore. You don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly. And she is not to be broke again. And if you don't listen to me and if you don't comply with the law, sir, I'm gonna kick your ass. And then the next day, guess what? He's got Huntington's disease. That's me kicking his ass, the little bitch. who thinks it's cool to kick and cute to pick on a woman. Guess what else? They got a grand jury a couple of times. I found that out. They want to go ahead and have you arrested and is her son available? Can her son make himself available to talk her into being trafficked and murdered? I got that because I'm kicking this bitch's ass. This little bitch that thinks it's cute to starve women and try to make them lie and be trafficked. About your computer, about making you go to a homeless shelter so the homeless people can take your computer and your phones and everything and your driver's license. And once all that's gone, you're a whole lot easier to traffic. Once a woman loses her driver's license and her car, a lot easier to traffic, don't you think? That's just what they do. They all do it, and they do it all the time. But when he does it to you, we find out before. Because I said I'm going to kick his ass, period. That's what my guy said. You're dealing with people. You're asking me if it's the military. You're asking me if it's Ron DeSantis. So you know somebody's helping me. And they have a lot of power. And you pissed them off. And it's not even benefiting you. And he pestered me all fucking day again today. And I'm still broke. And so we got more. Okay? It's the same thing every day, weirdo. I mean, we're out of words. We don't know how many different ways that we can repeat ourselves for you, Mr. Perry.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my god. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my god. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute?